On this edition of Gameball NFL Endzone, we're going to be doing a recap of what went down in Week 1. Also, we got some exciting matchups we're going to get to in Week 2 of the NFL season. So let's get it started right here, only on Gameball NFL Endzone starts now. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to Gameball NFL Endzone podcast where the football season never ends. I'm your host, Michael Riley.
And I'm Marcus Young Genius Jenkins.
On this edition of Gameball NFL Endzone, we're going to be doing a recap of what games went down in Week 1. Also, some upcoming exciting matchup for Week 2. So, what do you have for us, Marcus?
All right, with our first recap, we're going to go into the Oakland Raiders taking on the Tennessee Titans. The Raiders defeated the Titans by a score of 26-16 in this game for the Raiders. Derek Carr, 262 yards, including 2 touchdowns in that game. So a strong start for the Oakland Raiders. And my boy, Beast Mode, Marshawn Lynch, 18 carries, 76 yards. Not too bad for his first NFL start since returning a year ago with the Seattle Seahawks. Michael Crabtree, 6 receptions, 83 yards. For the Tennessee Titans, Marcus Mariota finishes 25 of 41 pass attempts, 256 yards. But surprisingly in this game, Mike, the Titans were held to only 3 points the second through the fourth quarter. So I got to ask you, what happened in this game?
Well, Oakland outplayed Tennessee in the second half. They made some few adjustments on defense, was able to get pressure on Marcus Mariota, caused him to throw checkdowns instead of the deep balls where the receivers could get open, forcing them to get 3 and outs, and Oakland was able to take control of that and take advantage of it, especially on offense. What they did was not put too much on Derek Carr since he is coming back from a leg injury due to last season. So they just want to keep it simple, run the ball with Marshawn Lynch, a.k.a. Beast Mode, and Marshawn Lynch, even though he had 78 yards for 19 or 18 carries, however it was, he looked impressive. He was the old beast mode that we're used to seeing to when he was playing for the Seattle Seahawks. So Marshawn Lynch did a pretty good job. They didn't give him too many touches, just kept it simple, kept him fresh, and let the other running backs get some touches. Also, Michael Crabtree played extremely well, and the other receivers also played as well to go along with him. And they just kept it simple, kept the pocket clean, allowed a couple sacks here and there, but overall, the second best offensive lineman did a pretty good job of keeping Derek Carr in the pocket, and also the defense did a pretty good job of limiting Tennessee's offense to only score minimum points instead of scoring more points.
Right.
So Oakland did his job. Derek Carr needed to do what he did, completed some pass, also a 19-yard pass for a touchdown, and basically just run out the clock and win this game.
So, I mean, once again, once you said, like, what adjustments you think the Raiders made, once again, to only hold the Titans, like we were just talking about, to only 3 points from the second through the fourth quarter. What did they do?
Well, at halftime, this game was 10-10, dead even. So the defense needed to make adjustments. The offense really kept it simple. They needed to do adjustment as well, just complete some passes, get their playmakers their place to Amari Cooper, who had a very strong start, especially scoring that touchdown. You see he put some muscle in his weight and it's proven. But the defense made sure that we need to come up with some more blitzes, put more pressure on the cornerback, also force 3 and outs, and that's what they did to hold Tennessee to held 3 points, or how many points in the second half, and that's success for Oakland's defense to win that game.
Definitely great effort and a strong return, like we're talking about, for Marshawn Lynch, as the Oakland Raiders once again defeated the Titans 26-16. Mike.
Go ahead.
All right, we're going to jump into the second recap on the segment, and that leads us to the Indianapolis Colts taking on the now Los Angeles Rams, formerly, of course, of St. Louis. The Rams defeated the Colts 46-9, so a pretty strong effort, it seems like, for the Los Angeles Rams. Jared Goff, the quarterback, 306 yards in his first career start as well, completing 21 of 29 passes. Andrew Luck was obviously missing in action in this game due to injury. His quarterback, Tolzien, however, 9 of 18, 128 yards, as well as 2 picks in this contest. Mike, what happened in this game?
The coaches looked flat out awful, and they looked atrocious on offense and defense, plain and simple. The quarterback, Tolzien, he looked like he wanted to cry and run away from the field after he got hit a bunch of times against the Rams. He threw 2 pick sixes, basically gave the Rams an early Christmas present. I'm like, really? You can't do that. You have to make better decisions, and don't throw into double coverage like that. The defense is going to sit down and read your eyes and make plays off of that. And also, the coach offense looked, not offense, but defense just didn't look better than the offense. It was just like they didn't come to play. It was just awful to watch. I feel sorry for the Colts fans for watching that embarrassing performance, because they should have a better performance to give their fans than that.
Absolutely.
I'm just like, come on now, you got to play better. And if you want to win this game, I'm like, at least put some effort into it. And if base performance, if I gave the Colts overall, I'll give them an F-. They couldn't even put any effort into it. And plus, towards the end of the game, when the coach made the quarterback switch from Tolzien to Kobe Brissett, who they traded for from New England Patriots about a week or 2 ago, Jacoby Brissett looked a lot better than Tolzien did. So let's see how he plays going forward. But overall, the Colts' performance is flat out awful.
Now, one thing I want to ask you is, with the absence of Andrew Luck, do you think that right now they're looking as if they're missing that leadership out of someone?
Yes, they do, because Andrew Luck is the bread and butter in their offense. But for the offense to be successful, you gotta have an offensive line that's willing to protect in the passing game, that's also be efficient in the run block. So with Andrew Luck going down and you missing that leadership, yes, it has some effect, but there's still no excuse for that performance against the Los Angeles Rams.
There you have it. A pretty rough start for the Indianapolis Colts, as they are, of course, like we were discussing, without Andrew Luck in this contest, once again falling to the Los Angeles Rams 46-9. That takes us to our third recap. That is the Green Bay Packers and the Seattle Seahawks. The Green Bay Packers won this contest 17-9. Russell Wilson 14-27 on the day, 158 yards and no touchdowns in this contest. Aaron Rodgers, 28 of 42, 311 yards to go along with a touchdown. One interception, but I mean, of course, that can happen to the best of them. Seattle, though, the interesting fact about this game, Seattle was held to just 3 field goals in this game. What happened with the Seahawks?
Well, as I was alluding to the week before when we picked our predictions in this game, I was saying whoever has the ball last, whoever makes more plays on defense is going to win this game. The Packers' defense made way more plays than Seattle Seahawks' offense. I mean, they added pieces during the offseason, and Don Capers, one of the best defensive coordinator in the game, was just making sure that he had a game plan to stop Seattle Seahawks' offense for scoring a lot of points. What they did was keep it simple. Keep Russell Wilson in the pocket and not let him roll out pocket and start making plays with his legs, running the ball or passing the ball as well. So they kept him in check, and the secondary played very good against a good receiving corps of the Seattle Seahawks. They kept everything in front of them. They gave us some big plays here and there, but the ultimate goal, they did not give up touchdowns. And the front seven looked a lot better this year than last year due to injuries the front seven of the Green Bay Packers defense was all over the field, making plays in the backfield, getting sacks, and for Seattle going 3-and-out. So that played a big role in. So they did their studying, they did what they need to do, and also they forced 3-and-outs and forced 2 field goals. They didn't give up no touchdowns. That is a great start for the Green Bay Packers defense going forward. I like what I saw. They kept getting pressure, and also they was forcing 3-and-outs. So that's what I like about the Green Bay Packers' performance on defense. They played very tough and also played good as well. So it was a good performance by the Green Bay Packers defense. That was still the show over the offense. And the offense had some hiccups here and there, and also had a turnover, but in the second half they was able to regroup, and Aaron Rodgers became Aaron Rodgers,
Yes,
forced Seattle Seahawks to jump off sides and getting a free play for a touchdown to Jordy Nelson, who started coming back on his own due to the ACL injury he suffered a couple of years ago. He started to come fully healthy now, started getting his speed back, and also just ground and pound and making plays on 4th and 1 when that play was needed. Aaron Rodgers rolled out a play action pass, and Martellus Bennett was wide open for the corner route, hit him there, and that's all she wrote. Took a couple knees, and that was game over.
Now, it seemed like from the jump, it did seem like it was a very defensive-minded attack into the third quarter, in which the Green Bay Packers are able to pull out 14 points before the fourth quarter. What happened in that third quarter which allowed Aaron Rodgers and the Packers to get going?
Well, once they got some easy completions going, that's when Aaron Rodgers started getting to a rhythm, started communicating with his offensive line, and also started communicating with his skill players as well. And that always helps when you have that communication, especially when you have a frustrating first half. So what they did, just make it adjustments, go to different places and see what Seattle Seahawks was running and what type of looks they did. They took advantage of it. They took advantage of the middle part instead of going outside, because you can't go outside against that very good secondary Legion Blue of Seahawks. So what they did was just keep it simple, take advantage of what's in the middle, take what the defense gives you, and continue to chew that clock and continue to keep Seattle Seahawks offense on the bench. That's how you're able to beat Seattle Seahawks and win that game.
Well, definitely a huge win for Week 1, a great start for the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, the Seattle Seahawks definitely have a lot of things to work on going into Week 2. The third matchup, or excuse me, the fourth and final recap that we're going to talk about for Week 1 is the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys, a.k.a. America's favorite team. In that game, the Cowboys were able to escape against the New York Giants by a score of 19-3. Eli Manning, 29 of 38, 220 yards, 1 pick in this contest, of course, with no touchdowns in that. Dak Prescott, so far looking like he's not the typical person that usually picks up that sophomore curse after your rookie season, which he had. He was 24 of 39, 268 yards, also as well as a touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, 24 carries and 104 yards in this contest. How would you break down this game?
Well, for the Giants, their defense played well, so I'm not going to get to the defense much. It's the offense. That offensive line is horrible. If you're going to get Eli all those type of weapons, you have to get him some protection. I mean, they just picking people off the streets and all that. You can't have a terrible line to go with a legitimate weapon that they have for the New York Giants offense. Also, it was a big blow that Odell Beckham Jr. wasn't playing, because Odell Beckham Jr. suffered an ankle injury against Cleveland during the preseason, which he didn't have a season-ending injury, but they wanted to keep him out of this game. At least if it was me, I would put it in some place to keep a decoy. That way you're messing with the Dallas Cowboys defense in their mind, like, they're going to throw him the ball, so we got to double him up, and you create one-on-one matchups by doing it that way. But since it wasn't, it was hard for the New York Giants offense to make plays. And in the second half, they was able to move the ball down the field, able to get in field goal range. That led to 3 points. That's the only score they had. So my biggest problem with the Giants offense is their offensive line. They have to get better. and protection and have to be able to run block well. And they make the Dallas Cowboys defensive line look like all-stars, which Cowboys defensive is still secondary, but they play well against New York, and their only thing that New York had was their downfall is the offensive line. So if they can fix the offensive line issues and get the protection game going, it could get better, or it's going to be a long season for New York.
What about for the Dallas Cowboys? They're still showing signs that they could have a similar season. No, this is only week one, but do you think they're showing signs that last year may not have been a fluke?
We may not know until the weeks go, so if I was everybody, including the Dallas Cowboy fans, just pump the brakes a little bit. It's only week one, so just pump the brakes. Their offense is legit, and Dak Prescott's showing signs of not having a sophomore slump, but we don't know yet. And their defense is still suspect, especially the secondary, because they don't have all their playmakers like they once did due to the offseason. So we'll have to pay attention to that going forward. But they was able to get to the backfield. They was able to stop the run and force Eli Manning to throw ill-advised passes and get 3 and outs. And that was the success of the Dallas Cowboys defense. So in their next matchup against the Broncos on the road, we'll have to see how legit is the Dallas Cowboys defense going forward. But like I was saying, just pump the brakes. It's only week one, and we'll find out what the real Dallas Cowboys are going
All
forward.
right. So the identity of the Dallas Cowboys, I guess the jury's still out on that. Of course, once again, it is week one, but not a bad start for the Cowboys, definitely. With that being said, it is time for us to jump into our week two matchups. Our top 4 picks, brought to you by Mike Riley, which brings us into, as I find an interesting one, the New Orleans Saints. The Saints go marching in to New Orleans at the New Orleans Superdome, taking on the defending Super Bowl champion New England Patriots, who are obvious off of what a lot of people said was a letdown or an upset against the Kansas City Chiefs in this contest. They lost 42-27 in this contest. Tom Brady, 16 of 38, 267 yards. Mike Gillies, 15 carries, 45 yards, 3 touchdowns. Amendola, 6 receptions for 100 yards. He's questionable also in this game versus the Saints as well. The Saints coming off of a week 1 loss to the Minnesota Vikings, 19-29. So definitely a spoiler for Adrian Peterson going against his old franchise and the Minnesota Vikings. Drew Brees, very solid, 27 for 37, 291 yards and a touchdown. Adrian Peterson held to only 6 carries and 18 yards in this contest. What do you like about this matchup between the Patriots and the Saints?
Well, they both coming off a tough losses, especially the Patriots in the season opener at home after being the defending Super Bowl champions and also lifting the banner for the team at home. In the game against the Chiefs, it was neck to neck. They was going back and forth, scoring touchdowns and all that. At one point, it looked like the Patriots was about to blow out the Chiefs in the very first quarter, but they was held in check and they got stopped on 4th and 1. Gillisley could not get that 1 yard, and Tom Brady, he wasn't himself a little bit, especially going to the second half. He was missing throws here and there, but that comes with nature here and there, so I wouldn't worry about it. He still got it, and also you still have one of the best coaches of all time in any sport besides NFL. He's the best coach, so he can make some adjustments here and there. They'll be fine, but what I would say about the New England Patriots is that they have to do better on short yardages, getting like the key first downs. Instead of running the ball on 4th and 1, I would just did a quarterback sneak, have your line push it, and keep the chains rolling. Also, you got to get Brandon Cooks more involved into the offense because he was limited to here and there trying to get the deep ball going. And he did complete some passes in the short passes here and there, but you got to take advantage of deeper passes in the middle, and especially on the outside. Complete some vertical passes, and also get Dwayne Allen, the other tight end you acquired from the coach, more involved to the offense. Now with Danny Amendola's situation, due to concussion protocol, we don't know if he's playing because he's taking a role over Julian Edelman, who suffered a knee injury in the preseason game, which loss of the season. So the receivers has to step up, and you also got to get Dorsett, you acquired from the Colts in the trade for Jacoby Brissett, give him involved, and also get Chris Hogan some more touches. And the offensive line, if they can play better, and they played good during the first 3 quarters, but you can't play first half quarters, then you give up 2 big sacks that cost you the game. So if they can finish the whole game with a clean game, not give up a sack, they will be fine. And the defense for the Patriots, what they have to do is have to make some adjustments here and there. And when Dante Hightower went out for a game due to knee injury, that opened the floodgates for the Chiefs to score easy touchdowns to get long runs, because when Dante Hightower was in there, they weren't doing nothing. They weren't getting as open and getting easy looks. But when he went down, that changed the momentum. So you have to get some wrinkles going here and there on defense, keep everything in front of you. I thought the secondary played well until they gave up a big touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill. Once they did that, it just changed the momentum of the game. So that's what happened for the Patriots offense. My issue with the Patriots offense is on defense. They have to fix some wrinkles here and there. They have to rush the passer. You got to put pressure on the quarterback. Also, stop the running game. If you can do that, the Patriots will be fine. I believe that they'll be fine, and they'll fix up. They would need to fix up, get some corrections going, and go to the Saints game being more prepared.
Right. I mean, and usually you don't hear about the Patriots in any type of dangerous situation. I mean, they're usually, as far as adjustments, Bill Belichick is pretty much been nicknamed the mastermind, basically, for how he prepares his football teams. And I actually agree with you that I think they'll still be in good shape after an upsetting loss to the Kansas City Chiefs.
So the Patriots fans out there, don't hit the panic button yet. It's only week 1. Things will get adjusted, and everything will be fine.
All right, we'll see what happens, but this is definitely going to be an interesting game because, of course, they're both bouncing off the losses. However, New Orleans is at home, so we'll see if that plays a role.
Yeah, for New Orleans, they have to be able to give Adrian Peterson some touches and run the ball more. And also the passing game needs to be more efficient here and there. And it's not the offense that's kind of the issue, it's the defense. The defense was left out there hanging because they had to be out in the field longer. They couldn't make plays. And also, the secondary is still suspect. So if the Saints can fix those couple of things, it'll be all right. Or else it could be another long day for the Saints defense going against the Patriots, who is pretty pissed off about the week 1 home loss. So they're coming to be focused. So it should be an interesting matchup for the Patriots and the Saints to look forward to.
Definitely going to be interested also to see how Adrian Peterson bounces back off of a win that he obviously you would hope to want to pick up, especially against your old team. But definitely, I agree with more touches. Only 6 touches in this game. Not Adrian Peterson-esque, so to speak.
No, it's not him.
Absolutely. We're going to move to the second matchup. Speaking of the Chiefs will be taking on Andy Reid's old bunch, the Philadelphia Eagles. The Kansas City Chiefs, of course, like we were just talking about, defeated the New England Patriots in New England, 42-27, putting up 21 points while holding New England scoreless in the 4th quarter, which is definitely an unfamiliar stat for the Patriots. Alex Smith, very, very strong performance in Week 1, 28 of 34, or 28 of 35, rather. 4 touchdowns in this game for 368 yards. Kareem Hunt, 17 carries, 148 yards, and a touchdown in this contest. Tyreek Hill, like you mentioned earlier, 7 receptions for 133 yards and a touchdown. The Philadelphia Eagles, they're coming off a victory against the Redskins by a score of 30-17. Carson Wentz, 26 of 39, 307 yards in this contest, 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. Who do you like in this contest?
Well, we'll get to prediction later. But first, what I want to talk about is the Chiefs. They played very well going to Gillette Stadium, which is one of the toughest places to play, especially on opening night of the ring ceremony. So Andy Reid did what he did, especially on offense. What he did was took matchups of horizontal routes against the Patriots defense, make the linebackers cover the running backs, and that's exactly what they did. Just keep it simple for Alex Smith, not too hard for him, keep it easy. Then you open up for a play action pass as Tyree was open for that 72 or 78-yard touchdown and took advantage of that. And at the end, they was able to make more plays than the Patriots to win that game. The Chiefs defense had some hiccups here and there early, but they was able to settle down, stop them on 4th down and 1 twice from keeping the drive going. Also to score points. That was 2 touchdowns or 2 field goals off the board for them. But the biggest blow that the Chiefs suffered was loss of the safety, Eric Berry, who has fought his way back. He beat cancer, got a contract extension and all that. Now he goes down with the Achilles tear. That is a big blow for the Chiefs. And he was the heart and soul of that defense. He was the focal point, that leader. He was making plays, especially against Rob Gronkowski. He pretty much held him in check. So that is the blow that the Chiefs have. And let's see what the Chiefs are made of going forward without Eric Berry. They still got one of the pass rushers, Justin Houston and all that, but it's going to take more of than Justin Houston in that regards to help this team be successful on defense. They have to go cover better. They have to probably call us some different schemes because everybody's going to look to take that matchup, especially pick on either a rookie or a veteran for that spot that Eric Berry was. So it's going to be challenging for the Chiefs secondary, especially that middle part to cover while Eric Berry's gone through an injury.
For the Kansas City Chiefs, one thing I want to ask you is, I mean, of course, that's a huge blow to lose the captain. You know, like you said, the heart and soul of that team. But then again, you're also coming off of a huge win against the defending Super Bowl champion. So I'd imagine you kind of have mixed emotions. How would you feel if you're Kansas City going into a game like this?
Well, next man up. You just have to be that mentality. You can't dwell on one player, even though it's a huge loss. But you still got to move on. So you got able to make some coverages, 2 safeties here and there, and let's see what we can do. Also, what helps defensive backs is a pass rush. You got to get more blitzes here and there. Against the Patriots, what the Chiefs struggled at one point was rushing 3 and drop 8. You can't do that, especially against Tom Brady. He's going to pick you apart. Then they finally settle down, start bringing middle linebacker blitzes here and there to throw them off this game. So you have to continue to do that, especially against a young, talented quarterback like Carson Wentz, who's also is resembling of Russell Wilson but taller. So he can make all the throws and he can run for first downs when he needs to. So you kind of have to do your homework and keep him contained in the pocket. If you can keep him contained in the pocket and force him to make plays on the inside, you force him to throw bad passes and also can lead up to interceptions. If the Chiefs can do that and get that pass rush going, they'll be able to win this game.
That's going to be an interesting matchup. Of course, it's another opportunity for Andy Reid to maybe stick it to his old organization, but definitely a great matchup nonetheless. Moving into our third matchup, Mike, we're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys and the Denver Broncos, which I think is going to be quite a matchup. Of course, the Broncos, they defeated the Chargers by a score of 21-24. Trevor Siemian, 17 of 28, 219 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 INT. C.J. Anderson, 20 receptions for 81 yards. In this contest, for the Dallas Cowboys, like we were talking about in the recap, defeated the Giants by a score of 19-3. We already discussed, of course, Prescott, 24 of 39 for pass attempts, 268 yards and a touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, once again, 24 carries for 104 yards. How would you break this game down?
Well, for the Dallas Cowboys, going to an environment, especially the mile high environment where it's loud and the altitude plays a part in this game. So, and especially going against one of the top defense in the NFL, of the Broncos, aka no-fly zone
Mm.
defense. So if you want to be able to get successful at that, just keep it simple. Just ground and pound the rock and get some easy completions and don't do too much. Because if you do too much, Denver defense will make you pay and take advantage of it. That also could lead to points. So I'm not really worried too much about the offense. As I was alluded to earlier, it's the defense that is suspect. We'll see if the defense of the Dallas can pass the test against Emmanuel Sanders, Darius Thomas and the crew. You got Cook, who might be coming back from injury. You also got C.J. Anderson, who played phenomenal in a Monday win over San Diego. You also got Jamal Charles, who's also was good, and when they needed him, get some carries, all that. So you have a three-headed monster running backs of the Denver Broncos offense. So let's see how the defense of the Dallas Cowboys pass this test. Now for the Denver Broncos to win this game, just keep it simple. Just take advantage of their weakness on defense. Just attack the middle, get the ground game going, and when they expect to run, hit one of the play action pass to either Emmanuel Sanders or Demaryius Thomas. Eat them up the middle, take advantage of it, chew up some clock, and score some points. Now for the Denver Broncos defense, going up against the best offensive line of the Dallas Cowboys is simple. You have to stop the run, because that's the Dallas Cowboys' bread and butter is the running game. If Von Miller keep doing what he's doing, get to the backfield, stop the run, and it's also forcing Dallas Cowboys to throw the ball and get some turnovers, possibly some incompletions, then you did your job on defense. And in the passing game, you have to keep Dak Prescott contained in the pocket. If you keep it contained in the pocket, and he's not as effective, but is he outside the pocket? That's where he's most dangerous. And the secondary has to step up against the Dallas Cowboys receiver, especially Jason Witten, who can get sneaky and just sit on the route and be open. And Cole Beasley is sneaky as well. So if they can shut those two players down and force him to beat you with Dez or somebody else, then Denver wins this game. So those are the keys for Denver to win this game.
And without a question, I mean, I'm sure you agree, Mike, definitely a great test against an outstanding defense in Denver for a sophomore quarterback in Dak Prescott. How do you expect him to perform in this game?
This might be his down game. But like I was alluding to, if he just keep it simple, don't beat himself over turnovers, and just keep everything going, then he'll find himself and get him a win. If not, it'll be a long day for Dak Prescott against the Denver's no-fly zone defense. You know how Ray Sherman no-flex zone? They be like, no-fly zone, no-fly zone for the Denver Broncos defense. So
They know about him. Definitely a great contest, Mike. Indeed, this is going to be a great test for the Cowboys. I think this is definitely going to be a game in which we're going to see if they're for real, or if they fail the test going into week 2. Definitely a great one going into Mile High Stadium for week 2 of the season. The next one takes us to our fourth and final matchup of the segment, and that is the Green Bay Packers taking on the Atlanta Falcons. The Green Bay Packers coming off of a victory over the Seattle Seahawks, like we recapped, 17-9. Of course, they were held scoreless in the first half, while Seattle only had 3, totaling in 3 field goals for that game and had no touchdowns. Ty Montgomery, 19 carries for 54 yards in this contest. For the Atlanta Falcons, they're fresh off of a big win against the Chicago Bears by a score of 23-17. Quarterback Matt Ryan, 21 of 30 on pass attempts, 321 yards to go along with that, and a single touchdown. Devontae Freeman, 12 carries, 37 yards, and a touchdown as well. Austin Hooper, 2 receptions for 128 yards and 1 touchdown. How would you break down this matchup?
Well, as I was alluding to for the Packers, they need to keep what they're doing on defense, just putting the pressure on the Falcons' offense, and just force Matt Ryan ill-advised throws. You also have to stop the run. If they can stop the run and cover better against the Falcons' not secondary, but receivers, they'll be fine. So just repeat the same recipe like you did against Seattle. If they can repeat the same recipe like they did in Seattle, they'll win this game. And plus, they had this game on the calendar due to last year when they played in the NFC Championship game, they was blowing out and they had all their players on defense. Now you got everybody on defense. It could be evenly matched up. Offense, you have to get a better start than what you did against Seattle in the very first half. If you have a terrible start like that, this game could get ugly out in a minute. But I don't believe this is going to happen. I believe Aaron Rodgers and the crew were able to make some adjustments and learn from the mistakes and know what they need to do going forward against the Falcons defense. Now let's jump to the Falcons. The Falcons escaped the Bears by a slim margin, a touchdown, because they easily could have lost that game to the Bears. Either it was a touchdown or 6 points, one of those two. But the offense has to play a lot better. Like that, you have to be much explosive. You have to take shots down the field, and you have to give Julio Jones more touches and get Devontae Freeman more in the running game. Also get Hamid Sanu involved more in the passing game, and Gabriel as well. Now the defense didn't play that well against the Chicago Bears. They gave up too many points and a lot of yards as well. But what helped them seal the deal, the victory, was by applying a lot of pressure on fourth down, forcing a sack like Brooke Reeves. That was game over. You have to get a faster start on defense to be able to be successful to win this thing against the Packers, because Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are going to be able to play, and they want this game bad, because after that embarrassment performance in the NFC Championship game, you can't be sloppy against Green Bay. If you get sloppy against Green Bay, then it's good night for the Falcons. And you also have to cover Jordy Nelson, who's one of the best against separation and getting open. And you also have to cover Martellus Bennett, who they required in the offseason and the free agency. If they can cover those two and force other guys to beat them, then the Falcons will be able to win this game.
One question I do want to ask you is this. We all know what happened last year in the Super Bowl with the Atlanta Falcons. So would you think that, I mean, you are coming off of a performance, you are coming off a week 1 win. Do you think this team is going to the season with a huge chip on their shoulder, and it's almost like they have a lot to prove all over again?
Yes, especially in the collapse in the Super Bowl, like letting the 25-point lead go. It's not the physical aspect, it's the mental aspect. Let's see if they mentally recover from that loss in the Super Bowl. And they about almost lost the game against Chicago on the road, so they have to get better at closing out games, especially on defense. You can't play first 3 quarters of dominance, then all of a sudden the last quarter and a half, you make the game close. They have to start on defense and finish on defense. If they can do that, they can win against Green Bay.
It's a great test, absolutely, for both teams. And like you said, a rematch of the NFC Championship game of a year ago. So I can't wait to see how this matchup. These are actually 4 really good matchups. They usually are every single week, but these 4, I feel like all 4 of these teams are coming in with something to prove. And mostly in all 4 of these games, I feel like it's a great test for all four matchups involved in tonight. With that being said, without further ado, I think it's time for us to go ahead and jump into the predictions segment of this. Of course, we got to go back. We're going to jump into the first matchup, the Saints and the Patriots. Who do you have in this game?
I have the Patriots winning this game because I don't see them losing back-to-back. They're coming off a performance where they let the game get away. They're going back to the drawing board, make the corrections that they need to make, take advantage of the Saints, and get the win in a very hostile environment. So I'll pick the Patriots to win 31-14 over New Orleans.
I'm definitely going to have to side with you on this one. I agree this was a huge loss in week 1 for the Patriots. So I definitely think they're definitely going to go into New Orleans with a huge chip on their shoulders. And the way that they bounce back collectively, I think is going to speak volumes, I think, also going into their season. And I think they're going to show why they have so much success and why they are basically the elite franchise of the league. I definitely give them a score. I'm going to say they're going to win 35. I'm going to say 35-14. The second matchup, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. Who you got in this game?
Well, I didn't really break down the Philadelphia Eagles. If the Philadelphia Eagles can do what they did against Washington, they'll be able to win this game. Their defense looked phenomenal. They was putting the pressure against Washington's offense and also forced fumbles and forced turnovers. They also scored a defensive touchdown. And Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia offense looked phenomenal, especially getting Alshon Jeffrey and Torrey Smith. Those were huge weapons for Carson Wentz. I was just debating on this matchup. Should I pick the Chiefs? Should I pick the Eagles? It was a toss-up. But I'm going to have to go with the Eagles since Eric Berry is a loss on the defense, especially the secondary. And I feel like the Eagles will exploit that, build apart, and take advantage of it and make more plays and get more points. So I'm going to say it'll be a close one, but I'm going to side with the Eagles 28-20 in Arrowhead.
I'm going to go with Kansas City. I'm going to say this because I think the Chiefs are going to rally behind their captain. He may not be physically on the field, but I think he'll still be there to rally his team. And I just think being at home, of course, the Chiefs fans are definitely some of the best fans, I think, in sports. And not just saying that because they're the local team, but I just think that this team, they understand the adversity that they have. And then on top of that, Andy Reid having an opportunity again to host the Eagles. I definitely agree it's going to be a close and challenging game for the Chiefs. I like 21-28 Kansas City.
All right.
The third prediction that we're going to go into, the Dallas Cowboys and the Broncos in Mile High Stadium. What do you got?
I got the Broncos winning another close one. I'm going to say the score of 28-24 Denver. I just seen them making 1-2 more plays on defense to win this game.
You know what? That's actually, I kind of agree with you on this one. It was definitely a toss-up for me looking at this matchup over the weekend. It was kind of hard for me to decide. I'm gonna say, honestly, against that defense, I think that the Denver Broncos defense is definitely going to be looking to shut down Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott and the hype that's come around them and the success. I think that they're going to try to come through, and I think they're going to try to make a statement to the Dallas Cowboys that we don't believe in that hype. So I'm going to say the Denver Broncos, like we're picking, and of course they're a Mile High Stadium on top of that. I like the Broncos to win this game. I'm going to say they're going to win 21-7. I think the defense for the Broncos is going to be the reason why they're successful in this game.
Yeah, the defense is talented all over, and it's going to be too much for Dallas Cowboys to handle, especially with that crowd noise on the third down. That crowd noise in Denver plays very part of you messing up on offense if you're the different team. So I feel like that's going to play a part of it, and that's why I'm picking the Broncos to beat the Cowboys.
It's going to be a good game. I know Cowboys fans. I have a lot of Cowboys fans all over my Facebook page. So
Same here.
So I definitely cannot wait to see the posts. That's one of the things I do love about football season is just being able to connect with a lot of my friends on social media, from Cowboys fans to Steelers fans to Chiefs fans, and just I can't wait to see the outcome of this game and what everyone's going to talk about after this matchup. It's going to be a fun Sunday, no doubt about it. The final prediction that we're going to pick is between the Packers and the Falcons. Who do you have?
I like the Packers in this game, especially after coming out of a loss in the NFC Championship. They still got that bad taste in their mouth of that embarrassing performance. And also they have all their players healthy as well, especially Jordy Nelson in that game. He wasn't really too healthy. And the secondary of the Packers was beat up. They couldn't do nothing to cover the Falcons offense, but I'm picking the Packers to win this game and get a bounce back win 35-20 in Atlanta.
This is another one that has to be a toss-up for me because I definitely have to echo exactly what you're talking about because they do have a chip on their shoulders referring to the Green Bay Packers in a stunning loss, a huge loss for them, a game shy of the Super Bowl. So definitely having an opportunity to go into Atlanta and steal a game. It doesn't necessarily heal the wounds of last year, but I think it definitely would build your confidence to get an opportunity to go back.
And also, this game could play a part of whoever plays which team in the NFC playoffs as well. So you have to have that in a factor. So Green Bay is looking to going forward and beat Atlanta. Say like if the Atlanta was the 2 or 3 seed and they play in the NFC Championship game, that game rather be played in the cold in Lambeau Field than Atlanta.
With that being said, some great points by the way. I'm gonna have to go with. I'm going to go with the Packers. I'm going to say they're going to win this in Atlanta. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have another brilliant performance. I think the Falcons are definitely going to come out hyped because, of course, they're going to be confident because based off of last year, plus you're in Atlanta on top of that. But I just think one of my favorite players is Aaron Rodgers, and I'm not even a Packers fan. The reason why is how he is in the second half, his poise, his maturity, his leadership. I think all that is going to play a factor. I think the Packers in general definitely wrote this on their calendar once the schedule was released during the offseason. That definitely marked this down. I like the Packers to win this one. It's going to be close. I'm going to say 21, another 21-28 score. I'm going with Green Bay.
All right. And that will do it for Gameball NFL Endzone Week 2 predictions and matchups and all that. Social media, you can follow me on Facebook, Gameball College Kickoff / Gameball NFL Endzone. That's my Facebook sports page. Also on Twitter, Gameball, Gamball, capitalized. I forgot the E in the game. So capitalize all of that, _NYKE. Also on Twitter, not Twitter, but YouTube, gck.gnfletv. Subscribe to the channel, and also you can email me at gck.gnfle@gmail.com. You got any social media?
Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at JoBellENT. Also on Facebook, you can find me Marcus JoBellENT Jenkins, and also on Instagram, follow me as well at JoBellENT. Also, I just want to quickly shout out the local pet grooming salon, Doggone Pretty Pet Spa, for being gracious hosts. So I'm pretty sure you guys will probably hear a lot of barking friends in the background, but definitely want to definitely thank them for being gracious hosts and allow us to shoot this broadcast.
Yeah, thanks to them. They let us but use these areas for us to shoot and talk sports to y'all. So thank you for that.
And with that being said, can't wait to meet up again here on NFL Endzone as we'll talk about our Week 2 recap as well as march into Week 3.
Until then, I'm Michael Riley, and this is Market Jenkins by saying have a safe blessed night and be good. This is Gameball NFL Endzone, where the football season never ends. Peace. We are out.